In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young man named Alex. Unlike the farmers and craftsmen around him, Alex had a different kind of passion: baking. The smell of fresh bread, the warmth of an oven, the joy of creating something delicious, it all fascinated him since childhood. But passion alone wasn't enough. Fear kept him in chains. For years, he dreamed of opening his own bakery. But every time he imagined taking the first step, his mind whispered doubts. What if my cakes aren't good enough? What if I invest everything and lose it all? What if people laugh at me? Instead of kneading dough, he kneaded his fears, molding them into excuses. Each day, he watched others chase their dreams while he remained stuck in the same place. If fear was the cage, then Daniel was the lock that kept Alex trapped inside. Daniel was the most successful baker in the village, and he knew it. His bakery was always filled with the aroma of golden loaves, and his confidence was as strong as his kneaded dough. But behind his success was an unyielding belief. Only the best survive. There's no room for weaklings in this craft. Whenever he saw Alex hesitate, he made sure to remind him, baking isn't for everyone, especially not amateurs like you. You should stick to what you're good at. Oh wait, you don't even know what that is. Each word hit Alex like a stone, cementing his fears even further. The more Daniel spoke, the more Alex believed he was doomed to fail before he even began. And so, another day passed, another dream left untouched. But deep inside, something was brewing, a hunger stronger than fear. That evening, the village was quiet, bathed in the golden hues of the setting sun. Alex sat alone by the river, his heart heavy with doubt. The gentle ripples on the water mirrored his swirling thoughts. Was he doomed to fail before even trying? Lost in his worries, he didn't notice the figure approaching until a calm voice broke the silence. "Why do you look so troubled, young man?" Alex turned to see Master Elijah, an old man known for his wisdom. His eyes held the weight of countless stories, and his presence radiated a quiet strength. With a deep sigh, Alex finally admitted what he had never dared to say out loud. "I want to open a bakery, but I'm scared of failing. I don't want to be humiliated." Master Elijah simply smiled, as if he had heard these words 1,000 times before. He picked up a small stone, tossed it into the river, and watched the ripples spread. "Let me tell you a story." The old man leaned forward, his voice steady and knowing. "Have you heard of Thomas Edison?" Alex shook his head. Edison was a man who dreamed of lighting up the world with a new invention, the electric light bulb. But to create it, he failed over and over again. 1,000 times, 5,000 times, 10,000 times. People laughed at him, called him a fool. But you know what he said? Master Elijah's eyes gleamed as he repeated Edison's famous words. "I have not failed 10,000 times. I have simply found 10,000 ways that do not work." Alex's breath caught. 10,000 failures? He couldn't imagine failing even once without giving up. Master Elijah continued, "Failure is not the enemy, Alex. Fear is. Every mistake teaches us something. The only real failure is never trying at all." The words lingered in the air, but inside Alex, doubt still whispered, "What if I'm not strong enough?" Master Elijah smiled again, as if he could hear Alex's thoughts. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is taking action despite it. The question is, will you let fear win, or will you take the first step? Alex looked down at his reflection in the river. For the first time, he wasn't just seeing a young man afraid to try. He was seeing someone who could choose to fight back. But was he ready? The morning after his conversation with Master Elijah, Alex woke up with a fire in his heart. For the first time in years, he wasn't just dreaming about baking. He was going to do it. But dreams are easy. Reality was much harsher. Determined, Alex gathered what little he had and set up a small baking station behind his house. The excitement of starting fresh was short-lived as the first obstacles appeared. No proper equipment, just a small, rusted oven. Very little money, not enough to buy quality ingredients. Mockery from the village, especially from Daniel. As Alex mixed his first batch of dough, Daniel's voice rang out across the village square. "Look, the great Alex is going to bake. Let's see how long before he gives up." A few villagers chuckled. Others simply shook their heads. No one believed he could succeed. But then something unexpected happened. Just as Alex was about to leave the market empty-handed, Emma, a kind-hearted woman who sold baking ingredients, stepped forward. She placed a small sack of flour and a bag of sugar into his hands. "Every great baker starts with a single loaf," she said with a warm smile. "Don't give up before you even begin." Alex felt a lump in his throat. For the first time, someone believed in him. With Emma's kindness giving him courage, Alex rushed home and started baking. This was his moment. His first batch burned to a crisp. His second batch so salty it was inedible. The laughter from the villagers stung like a whip. "He's just wasting time," one man said. "I wouldn't feed that bread to my chickens," another joked. Even Emma hesitated after seeing his failures. "Maybe you should try something else?" she suggested. Doubt clawed at Alex again. Maybe they were right. Maybe he wasn't meant for this. The final blow came from Daniel. The next morning, Alex woke up to find a giant sign outside Daniel's bakery. "Why eat bad bread? Get real quality here." People laughed as they passed by. Humiliated, Alex clenched his fists. The dream he had clung to for so long now felt like a cruel joke. And just like that, the fear of failure returned, stronger than ever. Just as Alex was about to give up, a game-changing announcement spread through the village. The annual baking contest was coming up. The grand prize? A permanent stall in the market, a chance to prove himself once and for all. Alex's heart pounded. This could change everything, but what if I fail? Sensing his hesitation, Master Elijah approached him once more. "If you don't take this chance, you'll regret it more than any failure," the old man said gently. "You don't need to be the best today. You just need to be better than yesterday." Alex took a deep breath. This was it, his last shot. That night, Alex refused to sleep. His small kitchen became a battleground. Flour covered his hands, sweat dripped from his brow, and failure after failure piled up. Burned loaves. Too much sugar, too little rise. Just when exhaustion threatened to take over, Emma and a few supportive villagers arrived. "We won't let you give up now," Emma said, rolling up her sleeves. With their encouragement, Alex kept going. He adjusted the heat, refined the mix, tested new techniques, until at last, he pulled out the perfect loaf. It was golden, soft, and smelled like success. This was the bread that could change his life. The festival was packed. Everyone gathered to witness the baking contest. Daniel stood tall, smirking as he presented his flawless bread. He was the favorite, as always. Then came Alex, the underdog, the failure. Whispers filled the air. Would he embarrass himself again? The judges took a bite of his bread. Silence. Then their eyes widened. One of them smiled. Another took a second bite. "This is incredible," the head judge declared. The crowd erupted in cheers as they announced, "The winner of this year's contest is Alex." Daniel stood frozen, speechless. For the first time, he had no clever insults, no smug remarks. Master Elijah placed a hand on Alex's shoulder, his eyes full of pride. "You see," he said, "fear didn't defeat you because you didn't let it." The villagers, once skeptics, now applauded Alex not just for his bread, but for his courage. And as Alex looked around, he realized something. Failure never truly existed. It was just another step towards success. As the cheers settled and the festival came to an end, Alex stood in the center of it all, not just as a baker, but as someone who had conquered his greatest enemy, fear. Master Elijah's words echoed in his mind. Failure is not the enemy, fear is. He finally understood. It was never about being perfect. It was about having the courage to start, to fall, and to rise again. Every great success story begins with overcoming doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, it's persistence. If you never try, you'll never know what you're capable of. Alex's journey wasn't just about baking. It was a reminder to everyone that their dreams were worth fighting for. And as he opened the doors to his brand new bakery, he smiled, because this was just the beginning. The end or the start of something greater?